Another
Yeah.
big thing to touch on is Shea Stadium. I mean, for us in the UK, it's synonymous with the Beatles, but you guys, the Grand Funk Railroad, you guys sold it out quicker than the Beatles, quicker than the Fab Four. I mean, what's your
That's right.
memories of that experience?
Well, the memories are flying over the stadium in a helicopter and watching it, Paul. Physically, it's flexing. The fans have got this thing rocking. Humble Pie's on stage,
Yeah.
which was set up at second base, and Shea Stadium was like a half circle. It focused right on second base. So every voice in that stadium, 55,000 people, when they hollered, it came right to your ears. And wow, as I'm telling you this, I'm getting goosebumps right now. Every time I that recall that, and I hash it over in my mind, that memory just overwhelms me. Yeah. Wow. A lot of love. Man,
Yeah.
a lot of love.
I bet, I bet. And what was it like being on the stage? Because I remember the Beatles said that they could hardly hear themselves, let alone anything else. So, what was it like for you guys?
Well, for us, we had a PA system. We had a hell of a PA system, and the fans could hear the drums, the bass, the guitar. I mean, we had a massive PA system, and the communication between the audience and the band was on. And I am fueled by the emotional waves that hit the stage from the audience. You know, they push you to greater heights than you could ever achieve on your own. So it's that love, man, that love was just lifting me up, and I it felt like I was 3 feet above the deck the whole show, just floating around up there.
Phenomenal. And you mentioned Humble Pie there. I'm a huge fan of Steve Marriott. I
Yeah.
mean, him, even with the small faces, was an incredible character,
Yeah,
fantastic frontman. I mean, you toured with them in Europe, didn't you? So was it you guys that said, hey, come and play America with us?
that's right. And they listened to, they had a big boom box that they would plug in their dressing room, and we could hear them over there rocking to all the R&B and and all the Motown stuff that we heard. That's what we were raised on in Detroit and in Flint, Michigan, because CKLW in Windsor, Ontario, that was a big. It was like a 50,000 watt AM station, and back then, Paul, all that music was played on AM. FM kind of came on the scene in 1970 and 71. It just kind of merged as uh, a medium to play music. And when they first came on, the DJs, you could hear them up there going, and they would play "I'm Your Captain," all these other cuts. And later on in life, as I've been going to radio stations, doing interviews, and shaking howdy, thanking them for playing my music, they would say, "Mark, thank you for 'I'm Your Captain,' because if we had to take a dump, or we had to get a coffee or smoke a cigarette or get a sandwich, we could get it all done during that song."
Oh, I love it. Absolutely fantastic. And we have to touch on another big hit as well, especially the ones we know here in the UK. I mean, we're an American band. It was the first single to go to #1 for you guys. Now, obviously, before this
Yes.
point, you'd had hits, you'd had platinum albums, multi-platinum albums, but this one was your first big #1 single. I mean, how did that feel when that one topped the charts?
Well, it was great because it was saying something. Our publicist at the time, and she was actually like co-management with Andy Cavalieri. Her name Lynn Goldsmith. She came to the band. She says, "You guys need to do a song that talks about who you are. You're an American band." It was actually her that triggered the song, and then Brewer came with the lyrics and two-note guitar chords to sing it to us. But as he's singing it, I'm hearing, I'm hearing this stuff, and so I I'd say to him, well, listen, I can hear this. And I played it. And he goes, yeah, man, that's it. That's really it. That's rocking. And I said, well, this song has got to have a cowbell. And Brewer goes, I don't have a cowbell. I said, well, you need to get a cowbell, because this song really needs a cowbell. I said, just think of all the hit songs with cowbells in them. This one really could be something. And he says, okay, I'll stop and I'll pick one up on the way to rehearsal. I said, pick 6 of them up, and we'll pick the best one that matches the tone of the chords that we're playing during this song. So he brought a bunch of cowbells in the next day, and we picked one, and it kank, kank, and it was the right one for that song. And the drum intro on that, I could hear that in my head as he was playing and showing us the song that he wanted to hear. I'm thinking, man, it's got to start with a drum beat intro and launch this song. And I told him what I heard, and I actually taught him how to play. I couldn't sit down there and play it myself because I'm not a drummer, but I could hear that song. I could hear the beat, and I said, it's got to be this. So I had a lot to do with that song as far as the construction of it. But Don Brewer wrote the words, and any other song that was a co-write with Brewer and myself on these albums, it was him lyrics, me music. So when the song, we got done recording the song at Criteria in Miami Beach, Florida, Brewer came to me and he says, Mark, I've never had 100% write credit on any songs. Do you mind if I take it on this? And I go, no, go ahead. Yeah, because I'm a nice guy. And I'm going to remain a nice guy. I don't care how bad I get screwed. That's a lesson in forgiveness. I'm learning how to do it.
Absolutely. Oh, incredible. Just a quick question as well. I mean, you guys were a 3-piece for so long, but you became a 4-piece, didn't you? Craig Frost joined the group. And I heard another interview saying that at the time you weren't best pleased with that. You thought you should have stayed as a 3-piece. Is that right?
I wanted to keep it 3-piece, but I found out later Brewer's motives for wanting 4-piece was so that he could write more music. And him and Craig Frost ended up penning a few songs together.